And Jim Jenkins joins us now with more on, I tell you what, many people are taking a step back and relaxing right now that have run for office, not this independent from Custer County. He's running for a U.S. Senate seat, and he's out on the campaign trail today. Wow, jumping right in, huh?
Well, I've learned in politics you have to get after it because the election comes up more quickly than you think.
It certainly does. Okay, you're a rancher from Custer County. You're a business owner. You've got a stake in restaurants. And what makes you want to get into the fray here?
Well, I think our democratic institutions are critical to our country, whether it's at the local school board or county level or at the state level. And so I just feel we all need to stay engaged, regardless of how tough it may seem to be, which it's plenty tough being in politics, but we need people, good people running for office, and this is my contribution.
Can an independent really gain traction against, well, a hard charger like we saw last night? Ben Sass won big. Dave Domina looks to be a able opponent on the Democratic side. Can an independent like yourself gain traction in this state? What do you think?
Well, I wouldn't be running if I didn't think that I had some chance to win. I think that I provide an alternative. I have a business background, as you said, and a fairly diverse background in terms of what I've done around the state, not only in business but in community service and serving as president of the Nebraska Restaurant Board and other things that I've done. So I think I can provide an alternative. I'd like to think I can represent Nebraska very well based on my background.
Let's get to some of the issues. You talk a little on your website, Mr. Jenkins, about bipartisan efforts on tax reform and changing the rules in Congress. What do you mean by that?
Well, Congress, and by the way, I just spent a week back there meeting with people on the Hill. Congress is clearly broken. It's dysfunctional. The committees are not functioning. There's gridlock. The two parties are not talking to one another. And as you know, Congress only has a 10% approval rating. So we need to, in order to address any of the issues facing our country, we need to change the rules by which Congress governs itself and also the election process by which we elect people. For example, I was not in the primary election as an independent. I believe that all voters and candidates should be running under the same rules.
So an independent in Nebraska doesn't get to vote for many people on their ballots when they go into the ballot box on a day like yesterday, right, the primaries?
That's correct. In fact, there's 230,000 independent voters in Nebraska who do not get to participate in the primary election or have limited participation and are only then allowed to vote in the general election for the partisan political races. I think that's unacceptable here in America in this day and age.
Where do you stand on other issues like the Keystone XL pipeline, for instance? Where do you stand on that?
Well, I am a person that believes that we went through a thorough review. We came up with a compromise. We rerouted it. We made it safer. And as a result, and I know it's been a tough decision for me, but I believe that we ought to allow the pipeline to go through with some of the changes that the legislature enacted.
Jim, we're out of time. Unfortunately, we can't get to some of these social issues I'd like to talk to you about, but we got several months to catch you along the campaign trail. That's the good news.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to this election, and I think it's hopefully voters will look in and take a hard look at my candidacy.
Okay, Jim Jenkins, thanks so much.